As per request from some people, I am planning to explain some facts on property taxes and property assessment process in this video. For explaining purposes, I am going to use the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation's MPAC's assessment process. MPAC is a non-profit crown corporation which regulates assessment of every property in Ontario. Property taxes are a primary revenue source for municipal governments to fund essential local services including police, fire and emergency services, road maintenance, public transit, garbage recycling collection and community programs. They also fund elementary and secondary education with approximately 25% of tax revenue directed towards school boards. The property taxes are calculated using the current value assessment of a property as determined by the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation and multiplying it by the total tax rate. There's a common misconception among taxpayers that property tax is solely based on the assessed value of a property. That's not true. Every time Municipal Property Assessment Corporation conducts a reassessment, taxpayers automatically assume that their property tax amount will be changed. Actually, the main reason behind the property tax change is the budget necessities of the municipalities, regions, and the school boards. The total tax rate is the sum of municipal, regional, and education rates depending on the municipality. In areas with a regional government, for an example, Holton, Peel, Waterloo, the tax bill includes a regional rate, a local municipal rate, and an education rate. In Ontario, the regional property tax rate, the upper tier tax rate, is primarily decided by the regional council of the respective regional municipality or county if it is involved with the region. Municipal councils set their municipal portion based on budget needs, while the province sets the education rate. Therefore, the total tax rate includes regional tax rate, municipal tax rate, and educational tax rate, and they are determined by the respective agents based on their budget requirements. Since we have a good understanding of the tax rates, let's see the other component of the property tax, which is the property assessment of a property. According to the Ontario Assessment Act, the current assessment value of a property represents the estimated market value as of a specific legislated base date. The CVA, that means current value assessment, ensures fair taxation by distributing the municipal tax burden based on the current market value of properties. Assessment and classification of all properties in the province of Ontario to reflect market changes are meant to be updated every 4 years. This is called the assessment cycle. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the province-wide reassessment was postponed. Therefore, property assessments for the 2026 property tax year will continue to be based on a fully phased in January 1st, 2016 current value, reflecting what the property could have sold for on that date. Their cycles aim to provide tax stability by phasing in increase gradually. MPAC uses a mass appraisal system to assess over 5 million Ontario properties every 4 years, relying on standardized methods and statistical modeling. The residential properties are based on the direct comparison approach or sales comparison approach, which analyzes recent comparable sales in the area. Even though MPAC reviews more than 200 factors on a sale, only 85% of the value is driven by 5 key factors. They are location, lot size, living area, age of the property, it is adjusted for the renovations, and quality of construction. Even with post-general reassessments, MPAC updates assessments for major changes such as new construction, renovations, or demolitions, adjusting them to the 2016 base year. The Municipal Property Assessment Corporation issues property assessment notices to Ontario property owners when a reassessment is completed or when there are changes to a property. MPAC began mailing property assessment notices for the 2026 tax year in late 2025, particularly for properties that have experienced changes. To capture those changes, MPAC's property inspectors visit the property once the owner gets a building permit from the municipality. MPAC's AboutMyProperty portal is a secure, online, easy-to-use, self-serve website that allows property owners to learn more about how their property was assessed, all the information about their property, and to access information on Ontario properties and property assessment. Now let's see what a taxpayer can do if he or she doesn't agree with the current value assessment of their property. They can take specific steps to have it reviewed and appealed. The first process is called request for reconsideration. The deadline for this request for the 2026 tax year is March 31st, 2026. This process is a free, mandatory first step for residential, farm and managed forest property owners to dispute their assessed value, classification or tax status. For the other type of properties, this request is not mandatory and directly can be filed to the Assessment Review Board, which is an independent tribunal of the Ontario Ministry of the Attorney General. Submit your request for reconsideration through AboutMyProperty portal or by mail before the deadline. Check your property assessment notice for the specific deadline, usually 90 days from mailing for certain notices. MPAC reviews the submission and notifies the taxpayer in writing of their decision, usually within 180 days. If you are not happy with the MPAC's decision, you can make an appeal to the Assessment Review Board. When filing, you will need to provide your property assessment notice and the request for reconsideration decision from MPAC. There's a fee for filing an appeal with the Assessment Review Board. After receiving the appeal, Assessment Review Board will schedule a hearing where you can present evidence such as recent sales data or property photos to support your case. Assessment Review Board acts as the final level of appeal for property assessments. Until we meet with another useful video, goodbye for now.